Hello guys, I am so happy to be back. It has totally been a while since I have been here on YouTube. I've been having a pretty busy summer, but the good news I want to share with y'all is that I have a new microphone for my videos, and this review will not only just be a film review as usual, but it's also a way for me to practice with this microphone to make sure that y'all can hear me well. And I would love to, experiment on what I can do with my voice with this microphone that is right next to my camera, and to make sure that y'all can hear me clearly as I talk about my movies and the reviews. And I would love to hear some feedback in the comments if I need to fix something with my microphone or if I need to fix audio related issues. But nevertheless, I would love to go to the review right now. Breathless is a 1960 French New Wave film directed by Jean-Luc Godard, and it is about a criminal named Michel. He is someone who is trying to blend into French society in the city of Paris after murdering a French authority figure. And as these investigators and detectives are after him, he tries his best to escape by not only blending, but also building relationships with other people that he meets. He then comes across a New Yorker named Patricia, who is an American journalist, and as they build this relationship together, they begin to learn from each other about their desires, their goals in life, and then you have a film that is just very uniquely made 60 years later. To be quite honest with everybody, Breathless is a movie that I find very tricky to not only review, but also watch at the same time. And that is because you can classify this movie as several genres into one film. It's a dark comedy, it's a crime drama, it's a part of the French New Wave movement. And the first time I watched this movie was when I was a freshman in college and when we were studying Intro to Cinema. And we were studying French New Wave cinema about how it was a movement in French filmmakers to break away from classical storytelling in film. And the moment I watched this film during a screening, I felt very confused and conflicted about why I just seen. However, rewatching it, it's a movie that has become very enjoyable for several reasons. The first thing I would love to praise from Breathless is just how modern this movie feels. This movie honestly does not feel like a film from the 60s, and that is due to the amount of enhancements that were placed in this film thanks to the inspiration of the French New Wave movement in film. And these were enhancements that Godard put in Breathless in terms of quick edits, jump cuts, handheld camera movement following the actor's movement in film. And that is one of the coolest things that I would love to praise for Breathless. It's just how it feels like you're watching a film from the 90s or 2000s, or even an indie film from YouTube or Netflix. And it's just when you watch this film, you just could not believe that a film from the 60s was ambitiously made by Godard at that time. The other thing I would love to praise from Breathless is the music alone. The theme of the film is just so beautiful and melodical that it feels like it was composed by Henry Mancini of Breakfast at Tiffany's. Especially when you hear the music, it feels as if you're listening to the Breakfast at Tiffany's theme, especially for the fact that this movie came out in 1960, a year before Breakfast at Tiffany's at 1961. If you listen very closely, it's just very gorgeous, and I could play the theme over and over again when I listen to it.
Tribune!
Est-ce que tu m'accompagnes à Rome?
As I've stated before, Breathless is a film that is not 100% straightforward, and I think that is going to be the thing that a lot of viewers will struggle with when watching this movie. This movie is not very straightforward with a protagonist and his goal. It just goes with a lot of random points about life in general, and it doesn't always have to revolve around the story of Michel escaping. In fact, the screenplay and the script and even the conversation scenes rely on random points and thoughts when people speak to one another. Sometimes it will be very funny, and at other times it could be really philosophical about what their desires are in life. What do they want out of this world? And when you hear those conversation scenes, it's very relatable to how we speak with our friends or family members when someone mentions one topic, you switch to another topic. And watching that, it just felt like you were capturing some sort of footage or video of people just having a normal or random conversation. And that's one of the things I find really interesting about Breathless. However, after watching the film several times, I've come to conclude that Breathless is a movie that just has a lot of fun with itself. In fact, I believe that was what Godard was intending to do, to make the film just as random as possible. Yes, it is very easy to get lost into the conversation scenes that switch several topics, nor do you understand every French phrase that is spoken from the actors. However, that was the intent of Godard, is to make sure that he enhanced several film techniques into this one movie, and that is the reason why Breathless is such an impactful film for today's world of filmmakers and moviegoers. That is why this movie has such a mix of random things, not just filmmaking techniques, but also genres of crime drama, dark comedy, and even when the comedy comes, it's actually laughable, and you can have a great time laughing at some of just how ridiculous the humor is. And when you watch it again and again, the excitement builds, and that is just why I love Breathless so much. This is a movie that has been not really made, but YouTubers have been making a lot of film essays about how Breathless inspired a lot of films today, and how French cinema was inspired after World War II in the 50s and 60s. This is a video, this is a review I would love to come back sometime, especially with Breathless, because you discover new things when you watch this movie. Therefore, Breathless absolutely gets a 10 out of 10. That is my review for Breathless. This was a lot of fun to make, especially with my new microphone. I am so glad to be back, and thank you guys for watching this YouTube movie review. And speaking of the microphone, please let me know in the comments if this microphone worked for you, and if there were any audio errors, please let me know. I will try my best to improve my sound, or to even maybe get a new microphone, but nevertheless, I am excited to be back here on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys.